The Batman. On June 28, 2008, Six Flags Over Georgia was packed. Families filled the park. Kids laughed. Somewhere in that crowd was 17-year-old Asia Ferguson. He boarded the Batman, one of the park's fastest roller coasters. The ride started. Somewhere along the track, Asia's hat flew off. When the coaster stopped, Asia didn't walk toward the exit. Instead, he jumped the security fence surrounding the tracks. Now, he was standing under the ride looking for his hat. And at that moment, another train was coming. Witnesses later said he never saw it. The coaster hit him at full speed. A passenger's leg struck his head with such force it killed him instantly. Paramedics rushed in. It was too late. The Mindbender. On June 14, 1986, the West Edmonton Mall in Alberta, Canada, was packed with visitors. Inside was Galaxyland, home to the Mindbender, the world's largest indoor triple-loop roller coaster. The ride hit speeds of 60 miles per hour, with 4 cars linked together. That evening, 24-year-old Rod Chico and 3 friends boarded the last car. The ride started normally, flying through the first 2 loops. Then witnesses saw sparks near the rear wheels, followed by a loud metallic bang. 4 bolts had snapped, and the final car began swaying violently before it derailed completely, slamming into a concrete pillar and then the ground. 3 riders were killed instantly. Chico survived, but with shattered legs, ribs, and internal injuries. Investigators later blamed loose bolts, poor maintenance, and design flaws. The ride stayed closed for months, reopening in 1987 with major safety upgrades. The Big Dipper. May 30th, 1972. First day of half-term holidays in London. Battersea Park. Fun fair was packed. Kids ran between rides, parents watched from below. At the center stood the Big Dipper, a giant wooden roller coaster. Old, loud, but loved. That afternoon, a train carrying 31 people creaked up the first hill. Cheers from the ground. Screams of excitement. Then, disaster. The rope pulling the train snapped. The cars rolled backward, fast. They slammed into the station below. Wood splintered. The first 2 cars jumped the tracks completely. 5 people were killed, all children. Many others were hurt. Investigators found years of poor maintenance, aging equipment, missed warnings. The Big Dipper was torn down the same year. Ride of Steel. On July 8, 2011, at Darien Lake Theme Park in New York, the Superman. Ride of Steel stood tall, 200-foot drop, speeds near 70 miles per hour. James Hackemer, a 29-year-old Iraq war veteran who had lost both legs in combat, boarded the ride. His family waved as the train began its climb. The coaster plunged down the first hill, racing through turns. But near the end, tragedy struck. Because Hackemer had no legs, the lap bar restraint couldn't secure him like other riders. As the train sped around a final turn, he was thrown from his seat, falling nearly 150 feet. Paramedics rushed in. It was too late. He died at the scene. Investigators found no mechanical failure. The problem wasn't the ride. It was the park's decision to let him ride at all. Fujin Raijin. On May 5, 2007. Expoland amusement park was full of families enjoying the holiday. One of the biggest rides was the Fujin Raijin 2, a stand-up roller coaster named after the gods of wind and thunder. It had been running for 15 years without problems. At 12:50 p.m., a train with 20 people climbed the first hill. People laughed. Music played. Everything felt normal. Then, halfway through the ride, there was a loud crack. The train shook, sparks flew. The front axle had snapped. One car jumped off the track and scraped along the guardrail at high speed. A 19-year-old woman in the front car was killed. Others were hurt as the train finally stopped. Investigators later found the broken axle had not been checked properly for years. They only did simple visual checks, not deeper tests to find hidden cracks. The ride was closed that day. Attendance dropped. Lawsuits followed. By 2009, Expoland closed forever. The Fujin Raijin 2 crash changed roller coaster safety rules in Japan. Fireball. On July 2017, 18-year-old Tyler Jarrell had just graduated. That evening, he boarded the Fireball, a giant pendulum ride that swung rows of riders 40 feet into the air. Lights flashing, music pounding, families below laughing and cheering. At 7:20 p.m., the ride reached full speed. Tyler's row flew past the crowd, riders screaming with excitement. Then came the sound no one forgets, a metallic crack. In seconds, Tyler's entire row of seats snapped off mid-swing. The row plummeted to the ground. The impact was so violent it killed Tyler instantly, his body thrown from the wreckage as metal and seats smashed across the pavement. Witnesses froze, some screamed, others ran as injured riders lay broken on the ground. Investigators later revealed the ride's arm was rotting from the inside. Rust and corrosion had eaten through the steel for years, but inspections never saw it. The ride was shut down. Lawsuits followed. Safety laws changed.